Hi, this is Mike Hendrickson from Strata Data in New York City. I'm here with Fiona McNeill from SAS. How are you doing?
Great, Mike. How are you?
Good. So what do you do at SAS?
I'm a technology product marketer at SAS, focusing on the cloud and platform technologies.
And so what do you guys see going on here at this event that's maybe different this year from prior years?
There's a lot of excitement that, frankly, is new, specifically around analytics. And for SAS, that makes our heart sing.
And at SAS, you guys are talking a lot and socializing the economy of everything. Can you unpack that a little bit? What does the economy of everything mean?
Well, the economy of everything typically refers to things like IoT, but there are other economies out there. There's the API economy, the big data economy, there's the IoT economy.
And we have one that Tim calls the next economy.
The next economy,
yes.
And at SAS we talk about the analytics economy.
Okay, and can you unpack that a little bit? What is the analytics economy?
Sure. All these other economies generate data, and there's latent value in that data. And you can always automate data in and of itself, but when you do that, you just make the same thing happen faster. It's only through analytics that you can actually make things better. So the analytics economy is really the fabric that's bringing the value out of that latent data for all those other economies.
So finding the value, finding the stories in the data is more as important as the data itself?
It's all about shared data and sharing the insights, yes.
Okay.
Where each insight becomes a data point for the next insight.
So that's probably huge for a lot of companies that are trying to transform themselves, or they're in a state of transition, going from doing things the way they've always done it to being data informed and analytics informed. Is this where you see a lot of action with your partners, is that they're struggling with making sense of the data and all the different types of data?
That does continue in many organizations and with our partners as well, that the data, having the data and making that shareable is absolutely critical. And when we look at things like GDPR, it becomes even more important, right? Because there's so many aspects of that personal information across an organization. But it's also about sharing those analytic insights and being able to democratize analytics so that they're not contained to a very specific few, and that anyone who is curious about the data has the tools that they need and the data they need easily to drive new value from data.
So in this world we're hurtling towards pretty quickly with AI and machine learning, deep learning, and everything knowing about smart futures, isn't analytics an important step before we get there, so that we're pointing our algorithms at good things that we want to investigate rather than just everything?
Typically, we do need to prioritize, and there's all kinds of reasons to prioritize, but one of them that's really important is to ensure that you do get the desired results. And when we talk about some of these more advanced algorithms like deep learning and cognitive computing, to ensure that they're producing the results that are desired, absolutely they need to be governed. Absolutely, you want to start at a certain place and gradually, incrementally, change your reinforcement learning and the rewards that you're attributing to an algorithm that's learning from data.
Is there also a people and mind shift too that's going to need to happen? Because we've heard a few times this week about biases. If we're not having diverse teams working together and we're basing it off analytics that were built by 3 male men at 50 years old or whatever, that their blinders are on, that are we heading down a path to where we have to start thinking about humans in the loop making better decisions, or helping?
Absolutely, that's what it's all about. That's what part of it's about anyway, humans making better decisions, but it's also machines making better decisions. So the diversity is absolutely critical. These skill set matchups from a domain expertise perspective, or with different experiences, let's say with the customer base, bringing all of those points to bear, consistently looking at the same data, but through their analytic lens that makes most sense to them, is really how we see this going.
Excellent. So what are some of the industries that you guys work with at SAS that you think are moving quick? Data's been around for a while, and at least 7-10 years, something like that. And yet not everyone got on board early. But some of the early adopters that are on board, who's moving the quickest? Not necessarily a company, but industry-wise.
From analytics in general?
Yeah. Who makes is it retail making the best use of?
There's some fascinating things happening in every industry. Some of the things we've been able to do in retail is to create virtual realities to enable people to immerse themselves in data and yet collaborate with others that are a completely remote geographic location. There's amazing things happening in healthcare where we have worked with organizations like Duke Clinical Research Institute that are collaborating with researchers around the world to drive better results and outcomes for cardiovascular patients. In banking, being able to working with customers to better detect fraud anomalies and cyber attacks at closer to the point of possible origination. You name it. We're seeing analytics explode, and in different ways in different industries.
In most industries now are going through some sort of disruption or transformation.
Absolutely.
Through analytics and data.
Absolutely. Most organizations and in most industries are seeing direct value from analytics. Where the analytics economy becomes a little different is the ability to continually compound that value driven from analytics.
So if you were to think about one industry that could benefit the most and help the most humans on this planet, where would you put your analytics firepower behind which industry?
That's a very difficult question for me to answer.
It is.
We've done some really wonderful work with groups and organizations and even countries that are in dire need after natural disasters, fighting diseases that affect people worldwide. And if we're going to be more democratic in our...
Or humane?
Humane,
yeah.
Absolutely, more humane in the adoption of analytics. I think helping people across the globe is really a wonderful cause.
Excellent. So if we were to sit down 12 months from now, what would you like to see SAS doing differently than they are today? And what would you like to see change in the industry in general? And the industry being data and analytics and where we're going.
Recently, I learned that I think by 2018, there's going to be expected to be a 12 times increase in public APIs. And I think APIs and public APIs will really help organizations better collaborate to compound that value from specific to analytics. So that's one of the things I'd really like to see happen. Now, seeing that happen requires a whole lot of things. Extremely deep understanding of your data lineage, extremely good governance policies, so to ensure that you're sharing the insights that you want compounded with the right deep learning neural net. So I think there's a lot of considerations in there, but I think bringing analytics more so to more causes and driving more value, I think APIs are going to be a very great way for us to do that.
Excellent. Well, Fiona, we look forward to that conversation in 12 months.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care.